Got to the past, Samurai Jack. Whatcha? Hello everyone, it's me, Juan Gamer 54 back in the video. Today we're gonna be reacting to Film Theory. Samurai Jack is the villain. What? Now, honestly, Samurai Jack has no need for introduction. I've watched Samurai Jack. You watched Samurai Jack. Wait, you mean to tell me you haven't heard about Samurai Jack? Well, what you doing over here? Go ahead, go watch it. It's very good. Like, it was, it was bombastic. It was bombastic, really. Like, it was great. But anyways, sit back, relax. We're gonna be doing a reaction to it. So with that, yeah, let's go.
Samurai Jack is Aku.
What?
You heard that one right. The hero from this classic cartoon will someday go on to be his greatest nemesis. Sound a bit out there? Well, maybe, but I think the evidence might convince you.
Ain't no way my boy Jack
Hello, Internet.
becomes
Welcome to
Aku.
Film Theory, the show that's waiting for a foolish samurai warrior wielding a magic sword to step forth to oppose me.
With a
today
magic
we're talking
sword.
about one of my favorite series of all time, Samurai Jack.
Yes.
If you don't know, Samurai Jack is a classic cartoon from the 2000s, all about a samurai that's, well, given the name Jack. He was the prince of feudal Japan, whose father was imprisoned by the evil shape-shifting demon Aku. But
Yes.
not before Jack was sent away to train with masters from all around the world. Jack later returned to Japan, but before he could defeat Aku, the demon pulled the cheap trick of opening a portal and bringing Jack into the distant future, where Aku had thousands of years to take over the entire planet. And now, Jack is on a quest to get back to the past so he can defeat Aku before any of this happens and undo his nightmarish timeline. This show was awesome.
Yes.
Some of the best animation of the era, homages to cinematic and literary classics, and it wasn't afraid to tackle some pretty mature ideas and themes in ways that treated its younger audience with respect.
And it to this day. Oh, come on. To this day. It's the greatest. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I might have to go and rewatch this, to be honest. It's just that good.
In fact, some friends and I in high school
Kevin
did,
decided
like,
to do it,
March
and I was
Madness
mad.
bracket of the best
He
cartoons
left
from
me
our
out of this.
childhood, where we assembled like a council to discuss them and vote for our favorites. And Samurai Jack ended up winning the whole thing. Honestly, I've wanted to do something involving Samurai Jack for years. We've actually had this episode floating around in the backlog for a while, just waiting for us to sit down and really hammer it out. And you know what? It's time. I want to take a real crack at this and prove to myself that Samurai Jack is still the GOAT, even in the theory world. So today,
He is.
after taking a look back at the series, I think that we did it. I think that we have a theory here that's worth covering. See, friends, Samurai Jack, the warrior meant to go back in time to defeat Aku, he is Aku. At some point in his life, the darkness inside of Jack will become the demon that he spent decades fighting. And the reasoning for it? Well, it will make total sense. And okay, yeah, I know the good guy is bad actually is a film theory classic that's basically a trope at this point. And admittedly, this one is a little bit out there. But if you're willing to suspend your disbelief just a little bit, we're gonna have some fun, loyal theorists.
All
So
right.
take up your magic swords. It's time for us to get back to the past. So I think that the best place for us to start here with a claim like Jack is Aku is by...
I'm sorry. I feel like, let me take a little crack at this, right? Because I feel like that one episode that they're gonna bring up is the whole, when Jack has to face against evil Jack. Evil Jack, because it's a kind of a staple. The good guy face an evil variant of himself, or I guess in Jack's case, basically his negative emotions personified because of Aku. To the point that Evil Jack is essentially, quote unquote, the son of Aku, made by his magic. And I'm not gonna lie, I love that episode so much. I don't know why. I just really like good guy facing its evil counterpart, regardless if it's a robot or a ghost. But maybe it's gonna bring it up here.
Pointing out some of the similarities between Jack and Aku. I mean, if they're actually the same being, it would only make sense that they'd share some traits, right? So, what do we got? Well, the few times that we see Aku take human form, he's extremely skilled with weapons in the exact same way that Jack is. When he steals Jack's sword, they're basically evenly matched. And at another point, he masquerades as a female warrior to fight alongside Jack, and the two are more or less on equal footing. Similarly, he
Aku literally catfish Aku. I mean, Aku literally catfished Jack. That evil, evil this man is.
This again during a fight where he doesn't use his powers. And Aku even took the form of an entire samurai army, proving his skills with the blade once again. It took Jack his entire life to master these skills, and while it's possible that Aku spent time training, it's interesting that he and Jack are basically evenly matched, right? But the similarities don't just stop at their physical prowess. Both Jack and Aku are also on very similar wavelengths in the way that they think. For example,
Please tell
each other's heads, playing
Oh, please tell me it's that part when they were discussing where they will meet.
mind games to anticipate how the other will respond, and they get deep.
Because I knew that you knew that I knew that you knew that I knew you would cheat.
That's like 5 layers, dude. But their similarities in their thinking go beyond knowing
Big
how each
brain.
other will react during their conflict. They also respond to stress and trauma in very similar ways. For example, in the final season, the strain brought on Aku by Jack causes the demon to conjure up another version of himself to process those anxieties. Basically, he gives himself a sounding board to vent about Jack.
Oh, right, the other
It
Jacks.
is a safe place.
Oh, sorry, to vent about the samurai. Aku even cries that due to the effects of time travel, Jack is ageless, just like Aku. Their struggle is basically set to go on forever. But here's the thing. In the same season, Jack also does this. His brain manifests another version of himself to help him process that despair. A darker version. He's responding the same way as Aku. Plus, this internal evil Jack shows that Jack has a dark side lurking inside of him. And this isn't just talk. We see proof of this across multiple episodes. In episode 8,
Yes, they brought that up.
Version of Jack created from his inner darkness. And in episode 40, Jack is corrupted by Aku's essence and nearly becomes the demon himself, even using his sword.
Okay,
to
that I
attack
didn't
innocent
see.
people. And the version of Jack's inner demon from the final season tries to force Jack to abandon his hope and principles. He even goes as far as to call Jack a fool, which is Aku's go-to insult for the samurai.
You're a fool! A foolish samurai.
Samurai fool.
That is a very specific choice of words and isn't a coincidence. The writers wanted us to see these parallels.
Yes.
You know, something I bet Jack wishes he could do when he gets flung into the far future is to make sure that the people that he cares about most are safe. And he wouldn't need to worry about that if he had simply Samurai Jack. And just to clear this up, this isn't just some darkness brought forth by Aku and his evil spells or corrupting influence. This is a darkness inside of Jack that he gave life to. It's an organic part of Jack, and on some level, Jack wants to give in to these sinister thoughts. I mean, he almost does. That's like the whole plot of the final season. And even
Oh yeah, I think he yeah, and one no, I think it's connected to, because there was one where he was hiding from Aku's elite troops, right? You know, basically the first Jack was saying our family's calling to him. Our family's calling to you. Another one was basically when he and Ashi, I think, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, like they were stuck in some sort of cave, and you know the evil Jack, or I guess the second Jack, wanted to leave Ashi behind because you know like he basically just told Jack she chose her side and now she gotta burn, or I guess be the food for the evil worm spider creature in the caves. And you know, then there was that whole scene with the whole, you know, the old guy who knows where Jax's blade was. Jack's blade.
he wins out over his darkness time and time again, it continues to resurface, empowered by his sadness and despair. Now, all of that being said, while these are interesting parallels, that's not quite enough to definitively say that these two are the same guy, right? Regardless of how much I love this pitch, it's not quite enough to do the classic film theory, actually, they're the same angle. No, if we wanted that, we'd need some sort of story element, a piece of lore that just cements the Jack-Aku connection. The Jakku connection, one could say. Otherwise, these are fun coincidences and nothing more. But thankfully, we have exactly that. See, there was always a bit of a loose end from the series that always bothered me. A lingering thread that's never quite leading anywhere. Well, at least not that we see in the show, but anyway. There's a character in Samurai Jack known only as the Guardian, who appears in the episode Jack and the Traveling Creatures. Guardian is a powerful warrior who guards a portal that can be used to travel through time and space.
Okay.
The only person who can use this portal is the man who defeats the Guardian in battle.
See, Samurai,
Samurai, only one man has been prophesized to defeat me. And that man is the only man who can use this time passage.
Now, this is a series that takes these sorts of prophecies pretty seriously. I mean, it's
Yeah.
part of this magical world, right? But there are a couple of roadblocks with this, as we see in the show. See, in this episode, Jack can't defeat the Guardian, but unlike everyone else that he kills after he defeats them, the Guardian doesn't kill Jack. He lets Jack go. And why? Well, just check this out.
You will never gain entrance into...
Oh, come on!
Oh, I understand.
The portal
I understand
stops
it
the
now.
Guardian before he can kill Jack, and he lets Jack go right before we see a vision, a prophecy of what's to come, a prophecy of a much older Jack wearing a crown with a sick beard inside of the portal. The Guardian even
Wait a
says,
You
minute.
can't use it yet, Samurai Jack. Not yet. Not yet.
So, very clearly, this show is spelling out for us that Jack is eventually going to defeat the Guardian and gain passage through the portal to fulfill his quest, right? I mean, it's a sentient, time-traveling portal. It should have knowledge of what's to come. Seems
Yeah.
kind of hard to refute, right? Except, well, that's not what happens. None of this is what happens. Why? Well, we know that Jack isn't the one who defeats the Guardian. In episode 100, Jack returns to the time portal only to find it broken and destroyed, and the Guardian's glasses on the ground. Aku
Dang.
has come in, killed the Guardian, and destroyed the portal in his efforts to thwart Jack from going back in time. So, was the prophecy just wrong? I mean, that seems to really go against how time travel and prophecy works in this universe.
Yeah.
In Samurai Jack, there's only one consistent timeline. There isn't a multiverse that branches out from different choices, which we know because Ashi ceases to exist when Aku is eventually defeated. Plus,
Dang.
again, it's like a sentient time.
Dang. I feel bad for Jack, to be honest. Like, he didn't deserve that. He finally found happiness, and then it just ripped it away. I bet Spider-Man knows a lot about that.
Portal. It would know what's going on. So, no, something else is going on here. And you know how all of this would make sense? If Aku was Jack, or at least the darkness inside of Jack's heart somehow manifested into its own being. If Aku were Jack and he defeated the Guardian, then that would fulfill the prophecy and keep everything consistent and
Because
good.
of the
Part
beard and
Jack
crown.
would have defeated the Guardian. So, okay, I think that that's a lot of evidence from their abilities and their character and the lore of the actual series pointing towards Aku being some sort of dark reflection of Jack. But this also leaves two big questions for us. Firstly, wait, how can this possibly be a thing? And secondly, why would Jack become Aku? Well, let's tackle those questions one by one, starting with the how this is a thing. Yeah,
All
it
right.
might be weird to think about Jack, who is very much a human, somehow becoming Aku. I mean, not only is Aku a demon, a being
I mean, he said it right there. That I, Aku, evil shape-shifting master of darkness. Like, he literally spells it out in every intro.
true darkness, but he's also been around for ages and done a lot. Like, Aku's earliest known form was this random blob of darkness floating out in space. The gods swooped in and tried to destroy Aku, with the small piece breaking off and crashing onto the Earth. That was actually the meteor that killed the dinosaurs, fun fact.
Dang.
I love that bit of trivia. Anyway, it'd be hard for Jack, who was born in Imperial Japan after Aku has already been around, to become Aku, right? Well, not so. We have a great explanation for that, too.
Really?
See, that whole storyline with the time portal and the Guardian, it tells us more than that Aku and Jack are likely the same person. Remember the vision that were shown within it of that much older Jack with the beard that I am not jealous of at all?
Ha.
Originally, that seemed like a bit of a spoiler for the whole series. This was a glimpse at how Jack was eventually going to get back in time to defeat Aku. But after Season 5 came out, well, that's not how it happened. Season 5 is set 50 years after the first 4 seasons, and we learn a couple of things that are pretty hard to reconcile with this prophecy. Firstly, we know the Jack that we see in the series could never age into the man from this vision. Season 5 established that since Jack was displaced from his own time, he couldn't age.
50 years have passed, but I do not age.
Dang.
It's been 50 years and he doesn't look a day older. Like, he's pretty spry for a dude in his 70s, right? So, because Jack
And I
can't
know the
age,
girls are
he's
fawning
stuck
for
in
him.
the body and at the age that he was originally flung into the future with. Well, that's not entirely true. I mean, he couldn't age into this man in the Aku-dominated alternate timeline, while he was in the future. But if he were to return to his own time, well, then Jack could age. He could become this great warrior king, assuming his father's throne and leadership. So this prophecy, this vision that we're seeing here, it's not directly of the future. This isn't showing Jack coming back to the time portal in Aku's twisted future when he's older and stronger and going back in time to defeat Aku. He's already done that. This is showing Jack back in his proper time, going to the portal for some other reason, something we don't see in the series.
And yes, and look at his glare. Do you not see his glare?
Going back in time to defeat Aku, he's already done that. This is showing Jack back in his proper time, going to the portal for some other.
Do you not see the glare? Now, I know a lot of people are saying, ain't no way you're saying that it's an evil glare. And I get it, you know, like we had a lot of glares that look kind of sinister. Batman, he's an example. But I mean, like, look at this. Why he out here posing? Why is he aura farming? With beard, crown, and cape in tow. And that if he is showing up to the portal, for what reason? It's almost like there is corruption in his eyes. You can see the evil in his eyes or something. Like he's trying to prove something. He's trying to gain something. I mean, look at it. Look. Maybe I'm stretching, but I mean, like, there is no reason he's doing this unless, you know, the portal is showing us that this King Jack or Emperor Jack is just overseeing a battle or something.
Reason, something we don't see in the series. And before you're skeptical that the portal wouldn't have existed in the past, well, that's not that far out of the realm of possibility. During the Aku-dominated future, the portal has likely existed for a long, long time, since the Guardian says he's been guarding it for countless eons. Jack's destiny is to return to this portal when he's much older, much stronger, to do something that had nothing to do with going to the past to defeat Aku. No, instead, he's here after he's returned to his original time to do something else, to go back in time to become Aku. Oh, and hey, just to make sure this is pointed out, it's also entirely possible within this universe that Jack could literally become Aku. Like, sure, the darkness inside of him that is already similar to Aku could take him over, like we've already talked about, but there was a whole episode called the Aku Infection where Aku gets a cold and gets Jack sick, slowly turning Jack into Aku before the infection is eventually purged from Jack's body. Something similar could happen elsewhere in time, transforming Jack into the darkness that is Aku. Okay. Just to recap, because we've covered a lot of moving pieces with this series. We know that 1, there's a darkness within Jack that's already similar to Aku. Jack. 2, there's a pretty good lore implication that Jack is Aku because of the Guardian's time portal. 3, Jack still needs to time travel through the Guardian's portal like we see in the original series. And 4, beings in this universe can be corrupted and turned into Aku. All of the pieces are here for Jack to actually be Aku, except perhaps the biggest one. Why? Why in the world would Jack give in and become evil? Go on some sort of grand quest that must take almost his entire life to become his own arch nemesis, become a force of darkness that will destroy so much of the world and universe? Well, the answer to that one is simple, loyal theorists. He's going to do it for love. See, in the final season of the show, the one that takes place 50 years after the original run, Jack isn't the only main character. No, there's also a new female lead named Ashi, an assassin born of Aku's essence who becomes Jack's love interest. The two slowly grow to trust one another, and by the end, Ashi joins the battle against Aku. Because she was born of his essence, she has all of his powers, and uses them to bring Jack back in time to defeat Aku once and for all. Happily ever after, right? Well, not so much. As I've mentioned a few times in this episode already, Samurai Jack doesn't exist in a multiverse. Its time travel operates like Back to the Future. When you change the past, it erases the future that would have been. So, sadly, as we see in the final episode, just as Jack and Ashi are about to be married,
Jack, without a coup, I would have never existed.
Because she was born from Aku, and since Aku was killed in the past, the future with Ashi in it never existed. She was never born, which creates a whole bunch of other paradoxes, but we're just gonna ignore that for now. Though the series uses this to end on a bittersweet note, given everything we've talked about so far, the darkness that we know lurks within Jack would certainly not accept this. It would not want to continue on without Ashi. And that isn't even just me pulling that out of nowhere. In the now delisted spin-off game Samurai Jack Battle Through Time, which the creator said was canon, Jack straight up says,
"Even across time, I will find my way back to you."
This happens after Jack has fought his way through several levels pulled from the entire
they literally made... I mean, I know this game exists, but like, it's also canon? Oh, dang. Ah, great. Jack, don't do this, bruh. Please. Don't be corrupted. First Anakin, then Obito, then this. Come on, Jack. Why is it always with love, bruh? Why?
Series where Jack has had to relive some of his worst memories. And he's just straight up saying that he's willing to go through all of that darkness again just to get back to Ashi. And what's the only way to get back to Ashi at the end of the series? In a timeline where she never existed, where the future she was born in was erased. It's to recreate that timeline, to seek out that time portal and fulfill the vision from the Guardian's prophecy, to go back in time and make sure Aku came into being so he could create Ashi, to spill out the dark side of his heart and take the form of the deliverer of darkness himself. Honestly, I think this is an incredible story, an extra layer on top of this beautifully crafted world and series, hidden just under the surface if you're willing to dive into it and suspend your disbelief just a little bit. But when you think about it, perhaps all of this would be a good thing. Maybe bringing about this future where Aku rules is the best outcome for pretty much every character we meet in the series.
What?
Now hold up. Let me explain. Don't get me wrong.
Hold on.
The tragedy and pain Aku brought into...
Nah. Okay, to say that Aku... Okay, yeah, sure. Now people are gonna say, oh, Anakin being Darth Vader is a good thing because it bettered the lives of Luke Skywalker and such. Yeah, okay, sure. Maybe it was best for Frieza to destroy the Saiyans. Okay, well, maybe someone can make a bold claim that Frieza destroying the Saiyans is a good thing, but yeah, let's be honest. Saying that Aku was the best thing that happened is not. That is, I bet a lot of people, and I do mean a lot of people, will disagree with you on that one.
This world was incalculable. But, well, when you put things into perspective, Jack's mission is kind of messed up, isn't it? Yes, Jack is trying to return to the past to defeat Aku, and in the process undo the future and pain that he created. But if Jack changes the past, then doesn't that mean the entire future would get wiped out? Wouldn't everyone we meet in the entire show die, in a way? They disappear. They cease to exist. If you change the past, the future that would have happened vanishes, just like we see with Ashi. And when you consider just how huge and widespread Aku's dominance on the planet was, how he reshaped not only the Earth, but also it seemed like other planets throughout the universe.
Dang.
Consider the butterfly effect. There's basically no way that someone born into an Aku-dominated future would exist in a timeline where Aku was taken out of it. So that's billions, maybe trillions of lives just gone. But hey,
Dang.
what else could Jack really do? Going back in time was the only way he could really beat Aku, right? Well, no, not really. I mean, Jack could have vanquished Aku in the future. He gets pretty darn close to doing it a few times in the series.
Yeah.
Sure, Aku was more powerful in the future, and fixing what he destroyed would have taken more effort. It wouldn't have been easy, no, and things probably could never recover to the point that they were before Aku took over. But is that really worth destroying these countless lives? The Jack we see in the show is one that cared about saving the past, the memory of a world that was long gone. And when he did, when he selfishly went back in time to undo all of the evil that Aku made, he was basically punished for it. He suffers the consequences of his actions by having the love of his life erased from existence.
Dang.
But with the Guardian's unresolved prophecy, the show is giving Jack a chance to fix that, to restore all of the lives he erased by redoing everything and becoming Aku to restore the timeline and fix the future in the future. And maybe, just maybe, get the real happy ending he was fighting for all along. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory.
Okay, and that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you. Like the video so I know you guys enjoy the video. And comment down below what do you guys think. Honestly, if Jack... That's crazy. Jack being the hero and the villain of the show. Honestly? I mean, I think it's good. I feel like it could be. Would be a crazy twist, right? Could be a crazy twist. Essentially saying that Samurai Jack, the TV show as a whole, is essentially a constant loop. Because if Jack is become Aku, and then a different Jack comes in and destroys that Aku, then that means he'll have to relive the same pain as the Aku did. Well, the same Jack who became Aku did. And thus basically doing the cycle all over again. So basically, Samurai Jack, the TV show, is going through in a constant loop. That would be crazy. That would be crazy as heck. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, like, it's a compelling theory. It really is. But could it? I don't know, man. Like, leave it down in the comment section below, guys. Do you think this is plausible? Because at one hand, I like it, but at the same time, it's like, it's like, there's just probably some things holding it back, and maybe I need to rewatch the show to see if maybe there's something that will, like, disprove the theory. But yeah, subscribe, guys, because we're trying to upload daily. This is JUAN Gamer 54 signing off.